Welcome back, guys. Ace of Hawks here, and today I'm going to be doing a destroyer tutorial. And so first I'm going to start out in the port, because that's where the most important stuff you need to know about destroyers happens. So the first thing you're going to notice here, I'm going to use Minakaze as an example. I have a camouflage on it, so we're going to talk about some of that stuff. So first things first, let's talk about modules. So, as a destroyer, your main armament that you're going to be using will be your torpedoes. So, if you have the option, I always suggest upgrading torpedoes first before your guns, because your guns are really small and they're not going to do very much. That may bring me into something later in this episode, but for now, this is about it. Secondly, exterior. If you are a level 8 or I suggest using the ship detectability camouflage, so this reduces it. So my detectability already is 95 concealment. If you notice in the right side of the screen, right under the commander, 95. So this takes 3%, and so basically I'm at 97% concealment. You know, that's really good. I will have to see what my detectability is. It doesn't actually tell me. Sometimes they do tell you what your detectable distance is. That brings me to second thing here in exterior. What flags you can put on if you've reached that level or not. So, as a destroyer, your main thing is going to be speed. You want to get in and get out as soon as possible because you do not have any defense to really protect you. So you're going to be putting on a Sierra Mike because that adds 5% of your maximum speed. You'll also be wanting to put on, if you want, you can get some extra credits there. Not a big thing, not really important. Not important. There, you definitely want that one. Juliet Charlie, 100%, it reduces the risk of a magazine detonation. It is so easy to detonate the magazines on these destroyers if you get hit. So I suggest doing that. It's not very fun to get detonated. It's a one hit. But the only way to get these flags is actually to get one hit. So you're going to have to, every now and then, you're going to have to stop using them to get more flags. You shouldn't get flooded if you know how to avoid torpedoes. It shouldn't be a problem. You do not want to ram, so you do not want that one either. Destroyers, if you get rammed, you are done. You don't have that. Nope. And if you want extra XP, because destroyers get a lot of XP for sinking ships and things like that, it's definitely a good thing to have that one. And, oh yeah, and you definitely want this one, India Yankee, minus 20% to the time of fire extinguishing. As a destroyer, your main armament, because your armor piercings won't do, like, squat, honestly, you're going to be using high explosive. So the main ships you'll be going up against in these battles, you shouldn't, I'm going to say this now, shouldn't fire your guns at all unless you're going against destroyers and aircraft carriers. Now, mind you, that's up to your decision. You can fire them whenever you want. I'm just recommending that's what I do because the moment you fire them, you will be detected. But if you go up against a destroyer or an aircraft carrier, they mostly use high explosive shells, and you're going to get caught. You're going to get caught on fire, so it's a good way to good thing to put India Yankee flags on. It's definitely a good idea. And moving to the next area, we're going to be putting in our commander. Oh, there we go. So I suggest that the first thing you get when you get up to this level is situation awareness, because it tells you right away if you've been detected or not. And with the destroyer, it's a really good thing because once you've been detected, they're going to start firing on you, because you are a big threat. So if you have this, it appears when you're detected. Once I get detected, I usually turn around and run until I'm undetected, and then I try to slowly, like a ninja, go right back in. Also, you want secondary armament, because you want to be taking out aircraft like crazy. Aircraft are going to be one of the bigger ones, especially dive bombers taking you out. So you definitely want some of those. In the second level, you're going to want torpedo armament expertise. So this reduces your reloading time of torpedo tubes and service time. So if your torpedo tubes get hit or knocked out temporarily, this will allow them to come in 10% faster, as well as they reload 10% faster, which is a bonus because, like I said before, your torpedoes are going to be your number one armament on this vessel. On level 3, you definitely want Superintendent, because that one adds 1 additional charge to all consumables. That means you'll get a engine boost charge, and you'll get a smokescreen charge, which is really good for destroyers, because you're going to need those bursts of speed and the clouds of smoke every now and then, so it's a good thing. If you're really into it, I'd get into something like maybe advanced firing training to help your AA against enemy aircraft and things like that. And maybe some fire. Help you with some fire. Well, let's get in. So just getting into battle here, you're going to notice a couple things. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the AA, so the anti-aircraft. And just for that, if you fire AA, the planes will detect you a lot more easier than what you'll realize. So if you turn them off, it's harder for them to detect you. Second thing I'm going to do, I'm going to change my torpedo spread to narrow, because honestly, if you aim where you're supposed to, you should have no problem hitting them with narrow, so there's no point using spread. Spread, I don't use it that often. Okay, here we are in a battle here with the Minakaze, and as you can see, I'm going around this corner. This is one of my better close encounter videos. I do have to use... I did a sort of rookie mistake, I wasn't paying attention, but for now, watch. Fire them, raise, I come around the corner. That Omaha or Phoenix does not stand a chance. See, here's my rookie mistake. I hit an enemy vessel. If he wasn't there, I would have been fine. I would have been able to run away, not been detected or anything like that. But because I ran into him, he trapped me in... or I trapped myself in this area, so I had to use my smoke screen. And those, I use those bonuses as emergencies. Oh, see, beautiful hit right there. So the second thing you're going to notice here is there's that other ship, and I need to attack him, but I still need to wait for the torpedoes to come in. So even though the allied ship fired torpedoes at him at close range, I still want to fire just in case. You also need to be aware of where those torpedoes are going to end up. I know those torpedoes will not hit the ally because of its current heading. So those should hit if that enemy ship ends up going that way. So yeah, he destroys him. But now he needs to watch out for my own torpedoes, but I already planned that they wouldn't hit him because of his current heading. So another thing you're going to notice here is that I had the torpedoes set on that destroyer, but honestly, trying to sink destroyers with torpedoes is very hard. They can avoid them very easily, but if you're going to sink a destroyer, I suggest taking out its critical components, so incapacitate it. I take out engines and things, which you'll see in a second here. I pull out my guns. Rare occasion, yes, I actually use my guns. I only use them for enemy destroyers and enemy aircraft carriers, just because we have an equal advantage for some things. So in this case, I fired all my torpedoes, I pulled out my guns, and then I went straight for the engines. And I ended up taking out the engines, which is really nice. And then he got stuck, and he was stuck in the path of my torpedoes, and that absolutely annihilated him. Great thing. Also pay attention to the minimap, because the only reason I saw him is because he came around the corner. So another point to add here is that notice here how I'm not detected, but I see an enemy ship who's ready to come around the edge of the island. I fire just on the edge of my range, and so I planned for him to end up right in the torpedoes just as he came around the corner of the island. It's the perfect thing to do. It really ended well for me. I ended up taking out the ship, and so it's the perfect time because you're not detected. It's just coming around the island. He's not expecting it. Fire a full salvo of those torps, and you should be able to take him out as long as nobody else interferes. It's a great tactic, I must say. Some people fire prematurely around islands at enemy ships and they get them, but that's just pure luck. It's really good, nice to have aircraft carriers telling you where to fire your torpedoes in advance, because then you can easily take out enemy ships. I'm going to zoom in here just to show you how good this is. Ooh. Beautiful.
We've destroyed an enemy cruiser.
Great shot. Like I said, coming around that island, he did not expect that at all.
Problem solved, sir.
Okay, so as you can see here, I'm going up against an enemy Congo. I fired some torps at him, but he's obviously heading for the wall. sort of my plan. I wanted to push him into the wall. That way it traps him in one area. So he either has to go right or left, or port or starboard. And that way I can fire more torps at him. Because he's on the wall, I can already predict which direction he's going in. So I'm going to fire torps at him. I only end up getting one set off because I end up running into an island, which I already knew was there. Rookie mistake, don't run into things, I must say. Almost got me killed. So I fire them off, and I try rotating in. I hit the island. Try to get out the island as soon as possible. I was already ready for it. So while I'm backing up, I'm going to watch this Congo go to the bottom. It was a fairly good attack here. I must say, if you push somebody against the wall, it's a perfect time to attack because they are pretty much stuck. The only thing I find that's wrong with the wall is that sometimes the aiming helper or the aim reticule doesn't really help out very much, so it can be a bit of a burden. So one last thing before I end this video, I get this question asked a lot, and they're like, which faction should I choose when destroying, or when choosing the destroyer? There's a lot of debate going around right now about that. The biggest one is that Japanese destroyers are better, but not necessarily. I mean, their torpedoes are better, but they have fewer than the U.S. does. The U.S. has far more torpedo tubes than the Japanese do. But on the other hand, Japanese torpedoes can usually go farther and do more damage. So there's sort of a balancing effect going on. So you have less torpedoes, but they do more damage. But in the U.S., you have far more torpedoes, but less damage. So you need a lot more torpedoes to hit to the same amount as the Japanese. So actually, if you look at this, which I thought would happen, the Umikaze has 4 torpedoes, so in the beginning it's less than the USA. USA Samson has 9. So yes, in the beginning the US is better for destroyers, but by the end, if you go all the way down to Shimikaze, we're going to have 63 torpedoes. You go to US, and I believe it's just under half that, or just over half that. Gearing, 37, yeah. So in the end, Japanese are better, but in the beginning, America or the United States Navy is it's better than the Japanese. And that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you liked it. Any more suggestions for videos? There should be a battleship and aircraft carrier as well as cruiser one coming out soon. Congratulations on Wargaming for getting the game out on September 17th, if you guys didn't know that. And keep watching me. I've got lots more stuff for you to see on this channel. And that's about it. Signing off. Ace of Hawks.